Looking for a place where faith breaks boundaries? Welcome to BIFR, Bullet in Flight Radio, an inclusive, progressive community of Christ followers, sharing real stories and bold ideas. This is your radio for hope, growth, and daring faith. Your story, our station. Tune in for new episodes every Friday and join believers who refuse to stay small. Visit https://www.just-dominic.com to listen and become part of the flight.
We are following some breaking news out of the FDA.
The agency has just approved a new, highly effective HIV prevention medication. In clinical trials, the drug nearly eliminated the spread among people given an injection every 6 months. Joining us now with more, NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal. So, Dr. Syal, first tell us about this drug and why so many are excited about it.
Hey, Zinkley. So this is a big deal. This just happened moments ago. The FDA approving a twice-yearly injection to prevent HIV, the fatal virus that can cause the disease known as AIDS. And Zinkley, why this is such a big deal? You know, when we see patients who want to take a pill to prevent HIV, what we have to prescribe is something called PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's something that you take, in hopes that if your body encounters the virus, it should be able to stop it. But Zinkley, the big problem with that is it's a daily pill. And the most common complaint I hear from my patients when I prescribe it is, do I really have to take it every day? And so that's what makes this announcement such a big deal. It's a twice-yearly injection, works actually better than the daily pill. And Zinkley, if I may, I'll just read a quote here from a nonprofit HIV advocacy group that told our medical team, quote, "This is the single best opportunity in 44 years of HIV prevention." So a lot to look forward to here.
Wow, that is quite a statement. So how soon could people actually get access to the drug?
So, Kate, a lot of that is still unclear right now, especially with a lot of the governmental cuts that are going on in terms of resource allocation. But what I will say, the next thing is, is it going to cost a lot, right? Is there going to be a lot of copay and deductible coverage with this? And so what we typically see when drugs get approved is that once they get approved, or not until they get approved, is when the FDA or when insurance companies start to weigh in terms of how much the copay is going to be. If they're going to prefer the cheaper generics, the daily pill I was talking about. So a lot of uncertainty still here, but a lot of excitement at the same time.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Each year, San Francisco alone spends $40,000 on each formerly homeless person.
In March of 2019, there was an estimate of 63,000 homeless in New York alone.
20 of homeless people in the United States are younger than 18.
53% of homeless people inside the U.S. are found in California.
Each year, an additional 3.5 million people become homeless.
What will you do to help?
We're talking about Jesus, the mighty Son of God, Jesus, the bright and morning star. We're talking about Jesus, your reign in majesty. We're talking about Jesus, forever you're our King. Every day of our life, we know you are here. We know you're our God, so we have no fear. And when we call your name, heaven angels cheer. We know the battle's won, and faith replaces fear. The mighty Son of God, the bright and morning star, your reign in majesty, forever you're our King. When battle lines are drawn, your strength becomes our song. No weapon formed can win, your victory lives within. And as we seek your face, darkness is erased. Nothing can stand against the power of your name.
Thank you. Believers, you've got to keep the faith and trust, knowing that you're more than conquerors, because you believe me. Believe in yourself, believe in 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 me. Folks always got something to say, love to criticize you in every way. Instead of taking what's wrong out of their own eyes, they rather whisper and make fun and then deny. Believe in yourself, believe in me. 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 This song is all about belief and believing in oneself. Don't let anyone make you doubt yourself, for you are a new creature God created. They spread little rumors, tell lies, little foxes destroy the vine. You feel so shaked up, you wanna wake up, stay on your knees. I'm begging you, please forget your enemies. What's done in the dark will see the light. It will be alright. It will be alright, 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 alright. Believe in yourself, believe in me. Believe in yourself, believe in me. Believe in yourself, believe in me. Come on. Believe in yourself, believe in me. Come on, LA. Believe in yourself, believe in me. You gotta believe in yourself, believe in me. The voice of God says, believe in yourself, believe in me. Believe in yourself, believe in me.
Hello everyone, this is Bishop Natasha Ellison from Come Alive Outreach, and you're listening to Bullet in Flight Radio, your story, our station, the best progressive Christian network in the world.
Hello, I am Dr. Victor Coolidge, Professor of History and Theology, and today we are going to discuss the hearts of men. And today's social society throughout America tension I've never been higher. For so many the fear of the unknown is simply too much, and here we'd rather sacrifice our neighbors rather than help because our Christian beliefs have evolved to a point of it's either us or them. Today you are in for special treat because you were listening to Bulletin Flight Radio. Your story, our station. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. The Ethiopian Bible is the original broader canon that ancient generations of Christians learned from. These traditions are making its way from Africa, across Europe, stretching down to Australia and finally to New Babylon, better known as the United States of America. The first Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, places a strong emphasis on universal love that directly includes those who are different. This is starting to turn the hearts of many across Europe and pockets in America. Please don't wait. This is the day and your time to listen. Open up your hearts and hear the word. Today, it seems that many people consider themselves Christians, born again or saved from their sins. Yet, dishonesty, selfishness, gun violence, domestic violence, race wars, bathroom wars are the topic of many conversations. Homelessness is growing in many communities. Old folks who worked 40 years are now faced with mounting debt, medical copays, and bankruptcy. However, many churches aren't in that position and have no empathy. In fact, studies show many people who have financial security wish death on those who don't have. And they consider themselves right with God. The mindset is, it is either us or them. It is impossible to provide an exact number for how many studies show Americans' hatred for the homeless, as the university studies indicate that researchers use more nuanced terminology like prejudice, stigma, discrimination, negative attitudes, and hostility. Those numbers have grown across America and every church and corner of the United States of America, the one nation under God. Also, the existing body of research and reports consistently documents point out a significant amount of negative attitudes and lethal behaviors toward people experiencing homelessness in the U.S., as extreme as human trafficking and deportation. 1. Pervasive stigma and dehumanization. Studies on attitudes. Numerous psychological and sociological studies have investigated how the public views homeless individuals, revealing deep-seated prejudice, contempt, and disgust. Research suggests that homeless individuals are often perceived as lacking both competence and warmth, eliciting emotions like disgust and contempt, the lowest of the low on the prejudice scale. Perceived as not fully human, one study suggests that people experiencing homelessness are sometimes not perceived as fully human. Negative stereotypes. Surveys consistently show a significant portion of the public believes homelessness is caused by personal factors like drug/alcohol abuse, mental illness, or being lazy, despite evidence pointing to structural causes like lack of affordable housing. 2. Not in my backyard, NIMBY, syndrome. Polling and public opinion. Public opinion polls often reveal a disconnect between abstract compassion and local acceptance, general compassion versus local opposition. While some Americans express compassion for homeless individuals and support government funding for solutions, this is often eclipsed with not in my backyard, NIMBY, opposition to services or housing being built in their own neighborhoods. Differing views on causes. Recent polls show that structural causes like lack of affordable housing, inflation are being recognized. But still nearly equal numbers believe personal factors like drugs/alcohol, mental illness, and sexuality are the primary drivers or the key factors in judging and assigning blame. Meaning it's your fault you are down and now it is my job to end you. 3. Anti-homeless violence and criminalization. Reports on behavior. The most extreme manifestation of hatred is documented through acts of violence, murder, rape, and restrictive laws. Anti-homeless hate crimes. Reports by organizations like the National Coalition for the Homeless, NCH, track hundreds of incidents of anti-homeless violence and hate crimes, including beatings, stabbings, and murders, with perpetrators often motivated by bias. Criminalization. Studies document that hundreds of U.S. cities have enacted laws that criminalize life-sustaining acts like sleeping, camping, or panhandling in public, which many researchers argue sends a message of villainization and increases the vulnerability of homeless people to violence. In summary, the combined evidence from psychological research on stigma, public opinion polling on attitudes, and reports on criminalization and violence paints a clear picture of widespread prejudice, hostility, and discrimination against people experiencing homelessness. Why, you ask? Because most Americans believe it is either us or them. I ask you, sisters and brothers, why can't it be both? Us and them. I have even heard preachers across America, regardless of denomination, tell the people to build walls, buy guns, and prepare for a national war for law and order under a fascist rule. So, today we are going to dive deeper into the Bible. and explore why America is on a collision course with the Most High God and Jah's sacred and holy word. This is the time to forsake your nationalism and political parties. Pledge your allegiance to the one and only true, because it is about us and them. The core teaching of the Ethiopian Bible aligns with the modern colonized version of the New Testament passages central to Christianity, such as the command to love one another, John chapter 13. Verse 34, the two greatest commandments, to love God with all your being and to love your neighbor as yourself, Matthew chapter 22. Verse 37 to 40 and Mark chapter 12 verse 30 to 31. Key aspects of this teaching that relate to loving those who are different. In other words, us and them. The summary on the Ethiopian Bible and its books on love include the following. God is love. The teaching emphasizes that God is love, 1 John chapter 4. Verse 8, and that true love is the base of Christianity. This love is meant to be shown equally to all people, the poor, the rich, all tribes, and all levels of righteous. The command to love as Christ loved is not a request but a non-negotiable order. In other words, do it or else, however, Christ's new commandment to love one another. As I have loved you, John chapter 13, verse 34 sets a higher standard. The Ethiopian Bible interprets this as a selfless, active love that goes beyond emotional inclination and involves sacrificing for the good of all. Seeing Christ in others, a profound Orthodox teaching is that every person is a living icon of Christ. Yes, folks. Christ himself. This means that when you put someone else's interests above your own and are generous with your time or resources, you are serving Christ and growing in the divine's likeness and nature. This perspective inherently applies to all tribes, regardless of their background or how they identify. Rejection of racism and all forms of hate. Some sources from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church specifically address the need to reject human trafficking, pedophilia, protest cruel kings, leaders, and government rulers that abused their people. With racism, stating that the assumption of valuing only one's own root or tribe is a sin unto Jah of spirits, the divine Elohim and all of heaven and earth. It is vital to respect and love the identity of others, as God created all men and women to dwell on the earth in unity and peace. Practical love or comradeship. Love is not described by words but by its actions. This practical love extends to caring for the sick, the weak, the poor, and the misfit, sharing their sorrow and happiness, and resolving conflicts with a gentle spirit of unity and forgiveness. If you love because it is the law to love us and them, then what's your problem? Can you see how the ignorance of those who shout Jesus, Jesus but hate lives in their hearts? Can you see that America is in trouble because America's churches are cold, sick, ill, diseased, and burning in sin? The sin of indifference for the world. You are listening to Bulletin Flight Radio. Your story, our station. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. The Ethiopian Bible's canon includes books like 1 Enoch and Jubilees, but these texts focus more on cosmology, angels, and prophecy rather than being primary sources for specific commandments on human-to-human or God's love in the same way the New Testament epistles or the Gospels do. However, the general themes of righteousness, judgment, and God's relationship with humanity in these books are all rooted in the context of divine justice and ultimate love for the righteous. For instance, the book of Enoch emphasizes God's great faithfulness and judgment, which is an expression of his ultimate love for the righteous and hatred of evil. The books of Maccabean, or Ethiopic Maccabees, are 3 books included in the Old Testament canon of the Ethiopian Bible. They are distinct from and should not be confused with the books of Maccabees, 1-4, found in Catholic and Eastern Orthodox Bibles. Here is a summary of the 3 books. 1. Maccabean I, 36 chapters, main narrative. This book tells the story of 3 faithful brothers who refused to bow down to idols. It begins by describing an idolatrous and arrogant pagan king of Media and Midian named Tsirit-Sadon, possibly a folk memory of the Seleucid ruler Antiochus IV Epiphanes. The 3 brothers, Maccabean, Abiah, Abijah, Selah, Shelah, and Pantos, Pantera, refuse the king's command to worship his idols and flee to a mountain. The narrative then shifts to a later time and focuses on a second group of heroes, Yehuda, Judah, Maccabees, and Mabikias, who successfully lead a revolt against the ruthless king Akrandes of Midian. Theological themes. The majority of the book goes beyond the historical narrative to focus on moral and theological instruction, including the vanity of earthly power and idolatry, the absolute sovereignty and righteousness of God, the certainty of the resurrection of the dead and the final judgment. 2. Maccabean 2, 21 chapters, main narrative. This book's narrative is somewhat disjointed. It first recounts a man named Maccabees, a king of Moab, who wars against Israel as a punishment from God. This Maccabees later repents and is taught the law of God. It then reintroduces the story from Maccabean I concerning the three brothers who are persecuted by King Tsirit-Sadon for refusing to worship idols. Theological themes. Similar to the first book, the focus is heavily on religious doctrine and teaching, the power of repentance, the importance of holding fast to the law of God even in the face of death. Strong emphasis on the doctrine of the physical resurrection. 3. Maccabean 3, 10 chapters, main content. This is the shortest book and contains the least historical narrative. Theological themes. It is a more diffuse account focused on salvation and punishment as seen throughout biblical history. It illustrates the importance of faith and perseverance by drawing examples from the lives of Old Testament patriarchs like Adam, Job, and David. It includes a significant focus on the role of the devil and his temptation of humanity, including the narrative of the evil one's punishment for refusing to bow before Adam. In essence, the books of Maccabean is a moralistic and theological treatises that use the stories of various groups of martyrs and rebels, all named Maccabees or a variation, as a backdrop to teach central Ethiopian Orthodox doctrines on divine judgment, the sovereignty of God, and the resurrection. This massive history lesson deals with us and them. The Holy One's plan for all. Not a few but all. You are listening to Bullet in Flight Radio, your story, our station. This is a good time to like, subscribe, and share with loved ones. Now, back to my lesson today, us or them. Other books that contain teachings about loving those different than you, particularly in the context of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Bible, which includes the standard Old and New Testaments along with additional books like Enoch and Jubilees, are primarily those found in the shared New Testament and Old Testament books. New Testament, the core teaching of universal love comes from the New Testament books, which are part of the Ethiopian Bible, the Gospels of Matthew, Luke, and John. The command to love your neighbor as yourself, Matthew chapter 22, verse 39. Luke chapter 10, verse 27, is the central teaching, and the parable of the Good Samaritan in Luke chapter 10 verses 25 to 37 explicitly defines neighbor to include those who are ethnically, culturally, or religiously different. Did you catch that? People that are different than you because you are just as odd and strange to them. Us and them. Jesus gives the new commandment to love one another as I have loved you, John chapter 13. Verse 34. The command to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 to 44. The teaching of welcoming the stranger. I was a stranger and you welcomed me, Matthew chapter 25. Verse 35. Epistles of Paul backs and up in Romans and Galatians. Romans chapter 12, verse 13 and Hebrews chapter 13, verse 2 encourage hospitality to strangers. Romans 14 addresses accepting believers who have different convictions or practices, progressive spiritual maturity. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 defines love as patient and kind, not jealous or boastful, which applies universally. So, the next you hear your leaders protest against love and choose to hate and lust for blood, you now know they are wrong. Found wanting. The Old Testament books, also canonical in the Ethiopian Bible, but more defined, contains clear laws on the treatment of foreigners and strangers, Leviticus and Deuteronomy, Leviticus chapter 19. Verse 33 to 34 is a very direct command when a foreigner resides among you in your land. Do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 18 to 19 states that God loves the foreigner residing among you, giving them food and clothing. And you are to love those who are foreigners, for you yourselves were foreigners in Egypt. These books lay the foundation for a doctrine of universal love and acceptance, which the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church upholds in its teachings to this very day. My final
Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Gladys Pruitt. Please be sure to check me out every Wednesday on the Hour of Power broadcast, right here on Bullet in Flight Radio. Your story, our station. The best progressive Christian network in the world.
At all to all in all, it's like the closer we get, most seem to fall. For real though. On one end, it's bigger than me. On the other end, it's closest to me. So who the sun set free is truly free. Then you can see how jealousy bursts the greed. Then you told me some milk, some meat, and no matter what, keep humbling me. Yeah. If they hating on you, they hated me first. Created in my image, promised from birth. Never was it flesh and blood, so greater is love. A hardened heart never saw who I was.
Can't take back my mistakes, I can only move forward. Can't undo what's been done, cause it's done. Don't judge me on my past lives. Don't judge me for my past problems. Don't judge me for the past struggles. Love me for who I am.
Love me for who I am, y'all.
Don't judge me for my past lives. Don't judge me for my past problems. Don't judge me for the past struggles. Love me for who I am. Love me for who I am.
You said it was all new, so it's all new. All things but new. Change didn't come till we rested in you. Never to return when it's you we earn. Some talk, some judge, not my concern. Not my concern. Since it's the past, we left it there. Once we forgave, you made it clear. Made it clear. I tell them we been there and done that. Been there and done that. No sin more greater, neither to fall flat. No longer we judge, we love. Some only rather to see who we was. For real. You called us to do greater works. Greater works. Then you gave us your son to prove our worth.
Can't take back my mistakes, I can only move forward. Can't undo what's been done, cause it's done. Don't judge me on my past lives. Don't judge me for my past problems. Don't judge me for the past struggles. Love me for who I am.
Love me for who I am, y'all.
Don't judge me for my past lives. Don't judge me for my past problems. Don't judge me for the past struggles. Love me for who I am. Love me for who I am. I take each day as it comes. I keep looking forward. I won't dwell on the mistakes from the past.
From the past, y'all.
Can't take back my mistakes, I can only move forward.
We can't take them back, y'all.
Can't undo what's been done, cause it's done.
Can't undo it, y'all.
Don't judge me on my past lives. Don't judge me for my past problems. Don't judge me for the past struggles. Love me for who I am.
Love me for who I am, y'all.
Don't judge me for my past Don't judge me for the past struggles. Love me for who I am.
My sister Brianna, cheer.
Wait on him, 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 wait on him.
The voice of them that crieth in the wilderness, prepare a place for the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our merciful God. And wait on him, wait on him. All you gotta do is wait, wait on him, wait on him. I said wait on him, wait on him, wait on him. All you gotta do is wait, just wait. Every valley shall be exalted, every mountain and hill shall be made low. The broken will be made whole, and the rough places made smooth. Wait on, hold up. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. They that run in will be safe. Call on him, wait on him, wait. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Wait on them, just like a tree planted by the rivers of living water. Wait on them, come on. Wait on him, come on, hold up and wait. Wait on him, wait on him, be of good cheer. Hold up and wait on him, wait on him, wait on him, wait on him, wait. Wait on him, wait on him, keep the faith, wait on him, wait on him, wait on him, just wait on him, wait on him, wait on him, pray and stay safe, wait on him, lean not to your own understanding, wait on him, wait on him, wait on him, wait on him, just keep praying and fasting and keep the faith, rest in his word. And keep believing, oh yeah, and just wait.
Most people who consider suicide don't really want to die. They feel helpless, they feel hopeless, they feel worthless. Oftentimes they have problems they don't think they can solve, they don't think anyone else understands, and they see suicide as the only way out.
If you suspect that someone may be suffering in silence, that they may be dealing with suicidal thoughts, it's important to say something, because by starting that conversation, that allows that person to really open up and start to share what they've been carrying with them.
While no one can predict suicide, there are risk factors that have been shown to increase the risk of someone being a victim of suicide. Some important static risk factors include, most importantly, prior suicide attempts. There are about 25 suicide attempts for each completed suicide nationwide. Second, we know that men are generally at higher risk for suicide than women. Someone who is going through depression, someone who's had a recent loss, and someone who's experiencing anxiety, who's suffering with substance use disorder is at higher risk for suicide.
Being a survivor of somebody that died by suicide can be one of the most difficult experiences somebody will have to go through in their entire life. And for that family member to realize that, one, it really is not your fault. Unfortunately, for things like this, there's nothing that family member could have done. And to also realize that whatever emotions they are feeling, it's okay. There's going to be anger, there's going to be grief, there's going to be relief. and that any one of those emotions is okay.
What we're hoping to do is give them some hope, to let them know that people care. We want to start the conversation. We want to help to bust the stigma so that people begin talking about suicide, because that's the only way that we're going to put an end to it.
Each year, San Francisco alone spends $40,000 on each formerly homeless person.
In March of 2019, there was an estimate of 63,000 homeless in New York alone.
20 of homeless people in the United States are younger than 18.
53% of homeless people inside the U.S. are found in California.
Each year, an additional 3.5 million people become homeless.
What will you do to help?
Our differences are what set us apart as humans, but is the cause of hatred amongst us. There are white people, black people, girls, boys, gay people, straight people, fat people, skinny people, rich people, poor people, people with different beliefs. But underneath, we are all the same. No matter who you are, your blood is red just like mine. So why should any of us be treated differently? We are world change.
Looking for a place where faith breaks boundaries? Welcome to BIFR, Bullet in Flight Radio, an inclusive, progressive community of Christ followers, sharing real stories and bold ideas. This is your radio for hope, growth, and daring faith. Your story, our station. Tune in for new episodes every Friday and join believers who refuse to stay small. Visit https://www.just-dominic.com to listen and become part of the flight.